The morning sun rises slowly over the city of Baghdad, brushing the rooftops with warm, golden light. The Tigris River flows gently nearby, catching the sun's first glow in its smooth ripples. A faint breeze stirs the fabric awnings stretched across market stalls. Palm fronds sway softly, their shadows dancing across whitewashed walls. In a quiet neighborhood near the House of Wisdom, the Beit al-Hikmah, a scholar is just beginning his day. His name is Ammar. He wakes before dawn, as he always does, when the city is hushed and the stars are still fading. The air is cool and sweet, and a single candle flickers in the corner of his room. His house is simple, with thick clay walls that keep it cool in the heat of the day. There are shelves built into the walls, holding neat rows of scrolls and leather-bound books. A low wooden bed is covered in hand-woven blankets, dyed with indigo and saffron. Ammar runs a calloused hand through his salt-and-pepper beard, then stands to greet the new day. His sleep-roughened face is framed by a linen kandora, the long white robe that all scholars wear. It is a symbol of their dedication to learning, setting them apart from the merchants and soldiers who make up the rest of society. Beneath it, he wears a waist-length juba, a quilted cotton jacket with a high collar. As he moves about his small house, he is careful not to disturb the sleeping woman beside him. She is an enigma to him, a puzzle he can't quite solve. Her name is Layla, though she seems to have many others, depending on who she speaks with. When she is with him, she is Rahila, his wife. But when she goes out into the world, she becomes Layla the Magnificent, or Layla the Wise, famed fortune-teller and astrologer. Ammar has no idea how she acquired these titles or what they mean, but he knows that people come from all around to seek her out. While he studies texts and writes, she listens to the whispers of the wind and the murmur of the stars. Sometimes he thinks she understands them better than he understands the words on the page. He approaches the window and looks out over the rooftops toward the great dome of the mosque at the edge of town. From this angle, he can just see its golden peak above the other buildings. What would it be like to soar above the city, to be a bird riding the thermals and seeing everything from above? He wonders if such freedom is even possible, or perhaps only the soul can achieve that kind of flight, leaving the body behind to pursue knowledge freely. Layla stirs beside him, and Ammar turns away to give her one last stolen moment of sleep. Her face is turned toward him, peaceful and beautiful. Sunlight spills across her skin, highlighting the intricate henna patterns decorating her arms and neck. How did he get so lucky to have someone as wonderful as her in his life? He considers asking her again, as he has so many times before, to tell him about herself, about where she came from and why she chose to stay with him. But then he knows he will only upset her and end up with more questions than answers. So he lets the thought drift away, along with the memory of her laughter from last night, when she was just Layla, his wife. After washing himself with cold water from a clay jug, he prepares a breakfast of flatbread and dates, eating slowly while he reviews what he plans to study today. He wants to make sure he uses his time wisely. There are so many scrolls and books waiting to be read, so much knowledge yet to be uncovered. Time is a precious resource, like water in a dry land. It must be carefully hoarded and used sparingly. After he finishes eating, he cleans his hands and spreads a reed mat on the floor. Then he begins to arrange the books and scrolls he will need for his lessons later in the day. As the city awakens around him, he hears the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer, the bleating of sheep being led to market, the shouts of vendors, and the splash of water as women wash clothes in a public fountain. Baghdad is the center of the world, the beating heart of civilization. Its streets are full of wonders, exotic goods from faraway lands, stories of daring adventures, and the latest news from every corner of the caliphate. Here, ideas are as plentiful as the date palms lining the riverbank. Scholars come from all over to study in its esteemed institutions, to learn from teachers who have mastered every subject imaginable. Many come to study with Ammar, who has a reputation for his patience and ability to explain complex subjects in simple terms. Today, he will teach a group of young men about astronomy. They sit cross-legged on the ground before him, listening intently as he speaks. In fact, the class goes so well that Ammar forgets to take a midday break to eat. Instead, he spends the entire day answering questions and watching his students perform calculations. Only when the sun dips low in the sky and casts long shadows across the room does he remember how hungry he is. Luckily, one of his students is a baker's son, and he brings his father's fresh bread to share with everyone. Afterwards, Ammar dismisses his students and prepares to meet Layla. Every evening after sunset, they visit the House of Wisdom together. It's their favorite place in all of Baghdad. Built by the Caliph Harun al-Rashid, the Bait al-Hikmah is the most magnificent building in the world. Its soaring arches and glittering dome are said to represent the heavens themselves. Inside, there are countless books and scrolls on every conceivable subject, gathered here by scholars from all over the known world. At night, the building comes alive. Torches flicker, casting dancing shadows on the walls as scholars from all over the city come to study, discuss new ideas, and debate theology. Ammar and Layla weave through the crowds, stopping to speak with friends and colleagues. They know almost everyone here, and they love the feeling of being part of something so much bigger than themselves. Once inside, Ammar takes a deep breath and lets the beauty of the building wash over him. Everywhere he looks, there are reminders of the endless wonders of the universe. On the ceiling, painted in brilliant colors, are maps of the constellations, each star carefully labeled with its name and location. In the courtyard, a fountain gurgles merrily, surrounded by lush gardens full of fragrant flowers and exotic birds. Ammar and Layla wander through the stacks, searching for something new to learn. Tonight, Layla is drawn to a recently acquired Greek text on astrology and alchemy. She reads aloud as Ammar listens, his arm resting possessively on the small of her back. He loves the sound of her voice, the way it echoes through the vast chamber, making the words come alive. The couple spends hours in the library, exploring the mysteries of the universe and the secrets of the human soul. When they finally leave, it is nearly midnight. As they walk home under the star-filled sky, Ammar can't help but feel a sense of wonder. He is just a small part of something much larger, a tiny flame in the vast darkness. But as long as he keeps learning, as long as he keeps seeking wisdom, he feels a sense of peace. They arrive home to find a young man waiting for them. He is handsome, with a quick smile and bright, inquisitive eyes. Ammar remembers now that he has a student coming to stay with them while he studies. Under Ammar's tutelage, the boy is eager to learn, soaking up knowledge like a sponge. He sits patiently while Ammar and Layla talk in hushed tones, his gaze flitting between them curiously. When the coast is clear, Ammar ushers the young man into a spare bedroom. It is humble but comfortable, with a woven mat on the floor and a shelf holding a few books and scrolls. Layla watches the interaction with amusement. She knows what the boy is thinking, what all young men think when they come to live with a married couple. Ammar, however, seems oblivious. He waves away her concerns with a dismissive gesture, then returns to his lesson. Layla shakes her head fondly. Life with Ammar is never dull, never ordinary, and she wouldn't have it any other way. As the night wears on, Layla and Ammar work late, poring over ancient texts and discussing their theories about the world. The candlelight flickers, casting long shadows on the walls as they lose themselves in their studies. Outside, the sounds of the city fade away, leaving only the whisper of the wind and the soft glow of the moon. Suddenly, a crash from the other room makes them both jump. Layla's hand instinctively goes to Ammar's, her fingers digging into his arm. Startled by her touch, Ammar looks down and sees the concern etched on her face. He squeezes her hand reassuringly, then goes to investigate the noise. "It's just the cat," he says with a sheepish grin. But Layla knows that whatever happens, she and Ammar will face it together. Their bond is unbreakable, forged in their shared love of learning and their unwavering support for each other. As the night deepens and the shadows grow longer, they return to their work, their love for each other and their thirst for knowledge guiding them through the darkness.
The sun climbs higher, the sky a deepening blue. Baghdad stirs, coming alive with sights and sounds. At the House of Wisdom, scholars gather. Some sit cross-legged on cushions, poring over ancient texts. Others lie on their sides along low tables, their forearms cradled by linen cloth, quills scratching on papyrus. In the courtyard, a fountain splashes softly, sending droplets flying like diamonds. It's here that Amir teaches, his students ranging from young princes to older scholars. His lessons are renowned, not just for their depth, but for his gentle manner. Today's lesson, the complexities of Euclid's elements, a cornerstone of mathematical knowledge. Amir explains how shapes are formed, how angles are measured, how areas are calculated. He writes out proofs on the board, each step flowing seamlessly into the next. His students lean in, eager to grasp every word, every stroke of his quill. Questions rise, then fall, as Amir patiently guides them through each query. The sun shifts, moving across the sky. Time slips by unnoticed, marked only by the ebb and flow of conversation. A breeze rustles through the courtyard, carrying the scent of orange blossoms in distant woods. It's a reminder of the world outside these hallowed walls. When the call to prayer echoes in the afternoon, the House of Wisdom empties. Most make their way to the great mosque, its arches and domes rising like a white flame against the azure sky. But Amir lingers, returning to his favorite corner, where light streams through a high window, illuminating motes dancing in the air. He picks up a scroll, its papyrus brittle with age. It's a copy of Ptolemy's Almagest, one of the most influential works on astronomy ever written. Amir traces the constellations mapped out by Ptolemy nearly a millennium ago. His finger moves along the lines and curves, committing these celestial maps to memory. The sky outside changes, mirroring the shift in the scroll. The sun dips lower, painting the sky in hues of amber and rose. The day lengthens, stretching out like a scroll unfurling its secrets. The House of Wisdom grows quiet again. Only the soft murmur of voices breaks the stillness as Amir prepares for his evening lesson. He stands up, stretching his stiff limbs, and walks to the fountain in the courtyard. Its water, still and reflective, offers him a glimpse of himself, a silhouette framed by the fading light. The day's heat clings to him, and he longs for the coolness of the night. As he makes his way home, the city has transformed. Streets are alive with merchants hawking their wares. With families strolling, with storytellers captivating their audience, the sounds blend together, forming a comforting hum. At home, Amir removes his sandals at the threshold, keeping them neatly lined up with his other possessions. He washes his feet, then enters the cool darkness of the house. The familiar shadows seem to welcome him back. The faint scent of incense lingers, mingling with the aroma of roasting lamb from a neighboring house. It's a comforting blend of smells, a reminder of home. He sits down at his small table, pulling out a worn copy of the Quran. It's not just a book for him. It's a companion, a teacher, a source of solace. He reads, his eyes scanning the familiar verses, finding new meanings, new insights with each reading. As the moon climbs higher, bathing the world in its silvery glow, Ammar finishes his prayers. He wipes the sweat from his brow, feeling the day's fatigue pulling at his eyelids. Sleep beckons, promising rest. So he lies down on his mat, the cool reed soft against his skin. Before long, he's enveloped in the embrace of dreams. In the stillness of the night, the city breathes. The wind carries the sound of distant drums, perhaps a celebration, perhaps a wedding. A dog barks in the darkness, its voice echoing in the narrow streets. Somewhere a lute weeps a mournful tune. In Amir's sleep his mind wanders. He's no longer in Baghdad. He's traveling, crossing vast deserts, climbing mountains that touch the clouds. He's in the company of fellow scholars, discussing the mysteries of the universe, the secrets of numbers, the nature of reality. Their words are sparks that ignite his curiosity. Their ideas are stars that guide his thoughts. When he wakes, it's to the soft chirping of birds. They've found their way into his courtyard, perching on the jasmine vines, their colors a burst of life against the dark green. It's a new day, and as Immerse stretches, he feels a familiar stirring within him. The thirst for knowledge, the joy of discovery, the endless wonder of the world. He rises, careful not to wake his sleeping wife. She's curled beside him, her face peaceful in the morning light. He knows she dreams of her homeland, of the rolling hills and sparkling rivers of Armenia. He smiles, remembering when they first met, her stories of distant lands igniting his own wanderlust. Now their lives are intertwined, their paths converging like two rivers joining in a delta. He gets up, his joints creaking a little. Age is catching up, he thinks, but there's a kindness in the ache, a reminder of a life well lived. Stepping into the courtyard, he notices a small pool, its surface disturbed by the fluttering wings of a butterfly. The sight brings a smile to his face. In the smallest things, he finds beauty, a moment of calm in the midst of chaos, a testament to the enduring power of nature. As he tends to the vines growing near his pool, he thinks about his students. Some will become famous, their names echoing through the ages. Others will live more modest lives, their contributions less visible, yet no less important. Each one of them carries a piece of his wisdom, a spark of curiosity ignited by his teachings. The air grows warmer, and he pulls his robe more tightly around him. It's a simple linen garment, yet it's a source of comfort. It's a shield against the biting wind that sweeps across the desert plains. A gift from a friend who travels often, it carries with it the scent of distant lands and the stories of faraway people. The sky above turns a brilliant blue, dotted with puffy white clouds that drift lazily along. The sun beats down warmly, inviting the world to bask in its golden glow. Life teems all around him, from the tiny ants scurrying along the ground to the soaring hawks circling high above. He sees them and feels a sense of connection, a reminder that he is part of something bigger, something eternal. As the hours slip by, Immerse finds solace in the repetition of his tasks, the tending of the garden, the grooming of the animals, the preparation of food. These simple acts anchor him to the present moment, allowing him to find joy in the everyday. The rhythmic chirping of crickets fills the air, accompanied by the soft buzz of bees. The symphony of nature is a constant presence, a soothing melody that lulls him into a state of tranquility. The day wanes, and with it, the strength in his limbs. He leans against the wall of his house, watching the sky turn from vibrant blue to soft pastel hues of orange and purple. The setting sun paints the world in shades of nostalgia, a reminder of the fleeting nature of time. He feels the weight of his years, the aches in his bones, the weariness in his heart. Yet there's a strange lightness in his soul, too, a peace that comes from a life fully lived. Today, like every day, has been a gift. Laughter of children rings out, echoing the joy that fills his own heart. For in this moment, surrounded by the fading light and the gentle sounds of evening, he feels a deep sense of contentment. His journey through life has been long and winding, but he wouldn't trade it for the world. The stars begin to appear, one by one, like celestial jewels scattered across a dark velvet cloth. The night deepens, and with it, the silence descends. In the stillness, Immerse hears the whisper of the wind, the rustling of leaves, the distant call of an owl. The sounds of the night are a lullaby to him, a gentle invitation to rest. The House of Wisdom stands with serene majesty, its golden domes gleaming in the morning sun. Tall and proud, it faces the blue expanse of the sky. Arched doorways like welcoming arms, open to scholars from many lands. They come bearing knowledge and ideas, eager to share and learn. Inside, the halls are cool and dim, the walls lined with countless bookshelves. The air is thick with the scent of ink and old parchment, whispers of centuries past. Sunlight streams through high windows, illuminating motes that dance in the still air. Here, amidst the quiet murmur of voices and the rustle of turning pages, a treasure trove of wisdom awaits. From the secrets of the cosmos to the intricacies of the human heart, these ancient texts hold the key to understanding the world around us. Welcome to the House of Wisdom, a place where knowledge is revered and the pursuit of learning knows no bounds. Join us as we embark on a journey through time and discover the wonders that await within these hallowed halls. In Baghdad, the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate, during the Islamic Golden Age, stood a magnificent structure known as the House of Wisdom. Also known as Dar al-Hekmah or Dar al-Kitab, this iconic building served as a library, an academy, and a center for intellectual pursuits. Its influence on the dissemination of knowledge during the 8th to 14th centuries was profound, shaping the cultural and intellectual landscape of not only the Islamic world, but the entire medieval globe. The House of Wisdom played a pivotal role in preserving and advancing knowledge during a time when much of Europe was shrouded in darkness. It became a sanctuary for scholars and thinkers from diverse backgrounds, fostering an environment of intellectual exchange and discovery. The impact of this institution extended far beyond its physical walls, leaving an indelible mark on history. The establishment of the House of Wisdom can be traced back to Harun al-Rashid, the eccentric and influential caliph of the Abbasid Caliphate. In the year 766 AD, he founded this center of learning as part of his efforts to promote culture and scholarship. However, it was under his successor, Al-Mamun ibn Harun, that the House of Wisdom truly flourished. Al-Mamun was a visionary ruler who recognized the importance of knowledge in advancing society. He expanded the library's collection, attracting scholars from various fields to contribute their expertise in research. Located in the heart of Baghdad, the capital city of the Abbasid Caliphate, the House of Wisdom was situated in a bustling urban center. Baghdad had emerged as a major hub of trade, culture, and scholarship, making it an ideal location for such an institution. The city's strategic position along the Silk Roads facilitated the exchange of ideas and goods from distant lands, contributing to the cosmopolitan atmosphere of the House of Wisdom. At its core, the House of Wisdom was a library housing an extensive collection of manuscripts on a wide range of subjects. Over the years, its collection grew to include works in various languages, including Greek, Persian, Indian, and Arabic. The library's vast holdings covered diverse fields of knowledge, such as philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and literature. Scholars from different cultures and backgrounds came to the House of Wisdom to consult its collection, ensuring the preservation and transmission of valuable texts. The library's remarkable growth can be attributed to several factors. Firstly, the Abbasid Caliphate's vast empire encompassed diverse cultures, allowing for the exchange and translation of texts across different regions. Secondly, the patronage of the caliphs, particularly Al-Mamun ibn Harun, provided significant support for acquiring and preserving manuscripts. Finally, the efforts of the librarians and scribes in cataloging and preserving the collection played a crucial role in maintaining its integrity. The House of Wisdom also functioned as an academy, providing a space for scholars to conduct research and engage in intellectual pursuits. It became a hub for scientific inquiry, philosophical discussions, and the pursuit of original research. Scholars from diverse fields gathered at the House of Wisdom to share their knowledge and collaborate on projects. The Academy's atmosphere of intellectual discourse and exploration fostered innovation and the advancement of various disciplines. Moreover, the House of Wisdom was instrumental in promoting the translation of texts from one language to another. During the Islamic Golden Age, there was a significant emphasis on preserving and disseminating knowledge regardless of its origin. The House facilitated the translation of Greek, Persian, and Indian texts into Arabic, making them accessible to a wider audience. This process of translating and adapting texts contributed to the spread of scientific and philosophical ideas across cultures. Now let's get back to the story. Amr, a young man with a thirst for knowledge, enters the House of Wisdom. He walks with purpose through the bustling halls, his eyes scanning the towering bookshelves. As a student of medicine, Amr is particularly interested in the healing arts. Today, he seeks to deepen his understanding of a medical text translated from Greek to Arabic. The prospect of unraveling the secrets of the human body and mastering the art of healing drives him forward. He approaches a shelf laden with manuscripts, their leather covers adorned with intricate patterns in gold leaf. With gentle hands, Amr selects the book containing the medical text. Its weight and texture speak of countless readings and annotations by fellow scholars. Eager to lose himself in the world of ancient medical wisdom, he carries the book to a nearby table and settles down. Sunlight streams through a high window, casting an ethereal glow on the open page. Omar picks up a reed pen, its nib delicate and poised above the parchment. He dips the pen into an ink bottle, ensuring it flows smoothly. The faint scratching of the quill against the papyrus fills the air as he begins to meticulously copy passages from the book. Each letter is formed with precision and care, its shape and symmetry reflecting the beauty of the Arabic script. The rhythmic scratching of the pen becomes a soothing melody to Omar's ears. Harmonizing with the whispers of knowledge that surround him, he finds solace and joy in this timeless pursuit, connecting with the generations of scholars who have walked these hallowed halls before him. As hours pass, Omar becomes fully engrossed in his task. He deciphers the complexities of the medical text, absorbing the wisdom contained within. The script's elegant curves and loops seem to dance before his eyes, revealing the intricate beauty of the Arabic language. In this haven of learning, surrounded by the echoes of countless scholars, Omar feels a profound sense of connection. He is but a small part of a rich tapestry of intellectual pursuit that has unfolded within these very walls. Inspired by those who have come before him, Omar continues his work with renewed vigor. His gaze sweeps across the bookshelves, acknowledging the silent witnesses to countless discoveries and insights. The House of Wisdom stands as a testament to the power of knowledge, and Omar feels privileged to contribute his own efforts to its enduring legacy. As the day draws to a close, Omar rises from his desk, his body weary but his mind invigorated. He looks upon his work with a sense of satisfaction, knowing that he has preserved a piece of ancient medical wisdom for future generations. The fading light casts long shadows as he closes the book, its secrets now a part of him. With reverence, Omar returns the manuscript to its shelf, ensuring it is ready for the next seeker of knowledge. He takes a moment to appreciate the beauty of the House of Wisdom, its grandeur echoing the magnificence of the cosmos itself. As he steps out into the twilight, Omar carries with him the wisdom he has uncovered, forever changed by the House of Wisdom. And so our journey through the House of Wisdom comes to an end. We hope you have enjoyed exploring this remarkable institution and the impact it had on the world. If you are as fascinated by history as we are, don't forget to stay tuned for more captivating stories from the past. And if you have your own historical tales to share, please do drop them in the comments below. Together, let's keep the spirit of curiosity and discovery alive. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time, and we look forward to seeing you again soon for more adventures in history. On the edge of town, nestled between an old tannery and a bustling spice merchant's house, is a small courtyard. A well-worn path leads through an archway overgrown with jasmine vines to a garden of fig trees, date palms, and orange blossoms. In the center sits a fountain with a carved marble basin and a copper weather vane shaped like a bird. In the corner, a ginger cat dozes in a patch of warm sunlight. The air is alive with the scent of citrus and jasmine. It is here that Amr makes his home. The courtyard is his sanctuary, a refuge from the noise and dust of the great city. For here the only sounds are the fountain's gentle trickle, the sighing wind, and the sweet songs of birds. Here, surrounded by books, scrolls, and maps, Amr, the scholar, can lose himself in the pursuit of knowledge, untethered by time and free from distraction. It has been a long day. From before sunrise, when the sky was still dark velvet and the city slept, Amr has been working, poring over manuscripts and pouring his heart and soul into his own writing. Now as the sun sinks below the horizon, casting the courtyard in shades of amber and rose, he pauses to rest. He puts down his quill, takes a sip of water from a ceramic cup, then leans back to watch the swallows flitting between the branches of the fig trees. Their chatter mingles with the distant sound of hammering from the tannery and the hawking of vendors in the marketplace. He listens for a while, half hearing the pulse of the city beyond his haven, then returns to his work. A shadow falls across his desk, and Amr looks up to see a sparrow perched on the edge, pecking at a crumb. The bird cocks its head, regarding the scholar with bright, inquisitive eyes. After a moment, it flutters to the floor and hops closer. It tilts its head again, coos softly, and waits patiently. Amused, Amr picks up a piece of bread, breaks it into small pieces, and scatters them on the ground. The sparrow chirps merrily, pecks up the offering, then darts back to the safety of the fig tree. As the last rays of sunlight fade from the sky, Amr rises from his desk. It is midday, Time to break his fast and join the other scholars for their communal meal in the courtyard of the House of Wisdom. He straightens his robe, smooths his turban, and walks toward the gate. In the courtyard of the House of Wisdom, fountains trickle and birds preen, their feathers glistening in the afternoon sun. Palm trees sway gently, casting dancing shadows on the flagstones. The air is filled with the scent of orange blossoms and freshly cut grass. Scholars sit on low stone benches or recline on cushions scattered across the ground. They have come from all corners of the caliphate and beyond to study and socialize in this tranquil oasis amidst the bustling city. Some are engrossed in their books, their lips moving silently as they read aloud. Others are engaged in lively conversation, their voices low but animated. The murmur of voices mingles with the splashing of water and the song of birds, creating a symphony of peaceful sounds. Amor greets his friends warmly and settles down beside them. The food arrives, carried by servants from the kitchen. Lentil stew is ladled into shallow bowls, and chunks of bread are piled on a platter. Emir serves himself and eats slowly, savoring the warmth of the food and the company. Across from him, Ibrahim, a young man with bright, eager eyes, speaks excitedly of a new manuscript he has found in the library. A group of older scholars listen attentively, nodding and commenting. A woman with a quick wit and sharper tongue, Zara, quips, "Why do you bother us with these tales, Ibrahim? Surely you are spinning a yarn." Laughter ripples around the circle. Ibrahim blushes and defends himself. "I swear it is true, Zara. The book is in the archives." Another man, Hassan, with a long white beard that reaches his chest, adds, "Let him speak." It is good to hear of new discoveries, even if some of the young ones are prone to exaggeration. This brings more laughter, and Amr shakes his head, smiling as he listens to their banter. When Ibrahim grows quiet, Amr asks him to tell him more about this new manuscript later, his eyes twinkling with amusement. After they finish eating, someone begins to recite poetry, their voice echoing the cadence of the language. The others listen, leaning closer, as the poet speaks of rivers flowing to the sea, of stars shining in the night sky, of memories that linger and dreams that take flight. As the sun climbs higher, Amr excuses himself and walks to the far end of the courtyard, where a series of arches lead to a cool, dimly lit room. This is the map room. Its walls are covered with intricately drawn maps of the known world, each one a masterpiece of geography and artistry. The maps are painted on linen or deerskin, some mounted on wood panels, others rolled and stored in elegant brass tubes. Each one is a testament to the skill of the mapmaker, the geographer. The cartographers who risk their lives to explore uncharted lands and bring back tales of distant shores. There are maps of the caliphate showing in fine detail the winding rivers, golden deserts, and lush farmlands, as well as the great cities, their palaces and mosques rendered in exquisite detail. There are maps of the Mediterranean, with its scattered islands and busy trade routes, and of Africa, where elephants roam and gold is traded for slaves. There is even a map of the heavens, charting the courses of the stars and planets. Amr runs his fingers lightly over the worn surface of one of the maps, his gaze following the lines and colors. This one depicts the journey from Cordoba to Samarkand, a route he has taken many times. He remembers the hardships of the journey, the scorching heat and biting cold, the endless roads and the nights spent sleeping under the stars. But looking at the map, the journey seems almost magical, a tapestry woven with gold thread and set with jewels. The route winds across the page like a ribbon, crossing rivers and mountains, passing through cities and oases until it finally reaches its destination. He traces the route with his finger, whispering the names of the places, each one a story, each one a memory. He lingers over one place in particular, Bukhara, a city of scholars and saints. He remembers his visit there, the smell of spices in the bazaars, the sight of the turquoise-tiled dome of the Poi Kalyan, complex shimmering in the sun, the sound of the muezzin's call to prayer echoing from the minarets. It was in Bukhara that he had met a wizened old man, a keeper of forgotten lore. The man had shared with him tales of the mythical past, of kings and conquerors, of merchants and mystics. Anmar had listened, spellbound, his mind expanding with each story. He had learned more in those few hours than he had in years of solitary study. But now, standing in the cool shade of the map room, surrounded by the ghosts of adventures past, Amr feels a familiar restlessness stir within him. The maps, with their bold colors and promise of distant lands, have awakened his wanderlust. Longs to set out again, to follow the winding paths that lead to unknown horizons. But he knows that his place is here in Cordoba, in this house of wisdom. He has work to do, books to write, and students to teach. So he turns away from the maps, his heart heavy with the weight of his responsibilities. Yet he cannot shake the feeling that there is more to life than books and scrolls, that there are greater adventures waiting for him beyond the walls of the caliphate. Emir returns to his desk, where fresh manuscripts await his attention. Ink bottles stand ready, quills are sharpened, and parchment is spread out, clean and crisp. Sunlight streams through the open window, illuminating motes dancing in the air. The gentle murmur of scholars at work fills the room, a comforting sound that has become the music of Immerse's life. With a deep breath, he dips his pen in ink and begins to write, his mind focused on the task at hand. Outside, the sounds of the city gradually fade away, replaced by the rustle of parchment and the scratch of quills on stone. Time seems to slip away, measured only by the lengthening shadows and the fading light. As the sun begins its slow descent, casting the room in hues of amber and rose, Immerse closes his manuscript, tucks away his pen, and stands up. He stretches, his bones creaking in protest after a long day of sitting, and walks over to the window. The sky is a canvas of vibrant colors streaked with crimson and gold, and the city below is coming alive with the sounds of evening. The call to prayer echoes over the rooftops, mingling with the laughter of children playing in the streets and the chatter of merchants setting up their wares for the night market. With a contented sigh, Immerse gathers his books and scrolls and heads towards the door. He has worked long and hard for his knowledge and understanding, but today he has made progress on a difficult passage in an ancient text, and he feels a sense of satisfaction settle in his chest. On his way home, Immerse pauses to wash his hands and face in a public fountain, enjoying the cool water on his skin. As he dries himself with a linen cloth, a group of boys splash and play nearby, their joyous laughter echoing in the twilight. The ginger cat from his courtyard rubs against his legs, purring loudly and winding itself around his ankles. Immerse smiles and strokes the cat's fur, enjoying its warmth and softness. The cat, sensing his affection, rubs against him again, its tail held high in the air. Back in his courtyard, the air is cooler now, and the sound of evening prayer drifts from the nearby mosque. The fountain trickles softly, and the shadows of the trees are long and graceful. Immerse washes again, this time in the privacy of his own courtyard, and then changes into a soft cotton robe. He lights a single oil lamp, and the flickering flame casts dancing shadows on the walls. As darkness falls, Immerse sits down on a low stool and opens a book of ancient poetry. The verses are in Arabic, and he reads them slowly, savoring the cadence of the language and the wisdom of the words. The poems speak of love and loss, of joy and sorrow, of the beauty of the natural world and the mysteries of the human heart. With each page he turns, Immerse finds himself transported to another time, to a world where words were the only currency and poetry was the highest form of art. He imagines the poets reciting their verses in crowded marketplaces, in the hushed halls of palaces, and in the quiet solitude of their own thoughts, and as he reads he feels a sense of connection with them, a sense of shared humanity that transcends time and space. His eyes begin to grow heavy, and the words on the page blur together. He closes the book, lays it on his lap, and looks up at the sky. The stars are out in full force, and the Milky Way stretches across the darkness like a river of light. Immerse watches as a shooting star streaks across the sky, leaving a trail of sparkling dust in its wake. He makes a silent wish, a wish for wisdom, for knowledge, and for the courage to follow his dreams. The night is quiet now. The air is still. He lies down on a rug, pulling a soft blanket over him. Above, the stars return, one by one, and slowly, gently, the scholar sleeps.